The United States? You know, the thing that hurts me the most is that I have to watch the NBA Finals, and they have world champion on their head. World champion of what? The United States? Don't get me wrong. I love the U.S. at times. But that ain't the world. That is not the world. We are the world. We have almost every country out here fighting, thriving, putting on their flag to show that they are represented. There ain't no flags in the NBA.
So, for those who don't know, that clip got, bro, in a lot of heat. A lot of fucking heat. The NBA world specifically has been pouring it on him. Pouring it on him. I'm pretty sure, I don't know if it's his last Instagram post, but his comments, KD, Trae Young, fucking LeBron James, maybe not LeBron, but a bunch of NBA stars and athletes just, hey, is this the clout you wanted? Look at this dude. Is this the attention you wanted, buddy? Hell yeah, fuck you, you fucking loser, fucking bitch. Like, people are going crazy on this fucking clip. And to me, when I first saw it, because when I first saw it, it wasn't really as viral as it is right now. I was like, Drake responded too. I ain't gonna lie, I'm a Drake fan, but the way Drake responded was shaboing boing, bro. Shaboing fucking boing, Drake. Jesus Christ. Jeez. But when I first saw the clip, I ain't gonna lie, I was like, what the fuck did he say wrong? What the fuck did he say wrong? And then I think it just clicked to me too, because again, I was out of the country, really away from American culture for a quick second. It's just a cultural difference. That is what this conversation boils down to. I don't think Noah Lyles should have went as hard as he did, but I don't think the response should have been as hard as it was as well. Pause. It is literally all this is just a semantics conversation. You know what I'm saying? People took this way too seriously, calling Noah Lyles ignorant. Again, if you have seen this comment section, everyone has just been going crazy on him. Going crazy style on him. When in actuality, in my opinion, I think he has a ground on what he said. It really was not that fucking crazy. And the reason why I say that is because I think it's one of those things where, you know, you have these conversations with your friends, and then you just realize, oh, we have all of these things in common, but when I grew up, I thought this thing, and when you grew up, this same thing that we're talking about right now, you thought of it in a different light. I think the closest parallel I can draw to right now is the playmaking conversation within the NBA space. You know what I'm saying? Growing up, playmaking was synonymous with being a passer, how good you are as a passer. Now the definition is a little bit different. And now when people use that word, there's conflict as to what the fuck playmaking means, you know? And when it comes to world champions, people, depending on how they grow up, just have certain perspectives as to what that word means. When it comes to Noah Lyles, who is a track and field star from my understanding, who competes internationally, who is, you know, his top level, what he's involved in, what he is, you know, invested in is Olympic sports. Being a world champion means competing internationally. Being a world champion is not about being the, you know, the best team in the best league where the best comp is. Ultimately, it is literally just, yo, did you win the competition where international play is the main competition, where countries are competing against other countries? Did you win that competition? FIBA World Cup is an example of that. You know what I'm saying? The Olympics is an example of that. If you won that competition, you're the world champion. That's literally all it is. I know, bro in chat saying, bro, there's athletes from around the world in the NBA. Literally, no one is disputing that point. No one is disputing that point. Again, it is I want to emphasize this. This whole thing is just a semantics conversation. It is just what words mean. It is a nitpicking conversation. You know what I'm saying? And for some people, being a world champion is literally just winning in leagues where it's country versus country. That's it. That's it. That's all it is. Now, for Americans, what I found out this past weekend is world champion means a whole different thing to them. A whole different thing. In my opinion, Americans add more semantics to this conversation than the other side of the coin, because their whole thing is, I ain't gonna lie, I mean, if you're in a league where the best in the world are competing, even though it's domestic, then you're world champs. How are you not the world champs? All right. I mean, I guess, you know, if technicalities in actuality, the way we actually view things, the world champion is probably the best team in the best league. That probably is what it is. But I think it's a case of two things can coexist. I think it's a case of two things can coexist. You can be the NBA champion and be the best team in the best league, and you're, viewed as the best team in the world, and still not be world champs. I don't know. I just don't think it's really that fucking complicated. I know what I just said sounds crazy. No one is saying that an NBA championship is not the most valuable championship in the world. I don't think anyone is saying that. You know what I'm saying? Unless you're really nationalistic about the shit and is really just international play over anything else. But again, just for a lot of people, world champions means, did you win that tournament where it's countries, where the whole tournament is countries playing other countries, excuse me. And if that's not the case, then you're not world champions. That's it. Period, point blank. And I just think the response of the NBA world, specifically on the American side, has just been extremely fucking corny. They are pushing it. They are dragging it. This shit really is not that serious. And I know people, specifically Damo, so I'll call out names. They want to bring up the point of, man, no one even calls, people world champions nowadays. I think Sage was saying it too on the last pod. So what the fuck is the whole point of this? Apparently, it's big enough for all of this to happen. So yeah, even though the NBA's branding is not specifically saying world champs, apparently, and maybe this is just us retaking the word or some shit, apparently it matters a lot. To the point where, bro, I've seen cancellations of people doing cancelable things. I swear to God, they haven't received as much backlash as Noah Lyles has gotten the last 2 days. I ain't gonna lie. Like, Jesus Christ. Like, this shit is crazy. This shit is nuts. I swear to God, Noah Lyles has been getting cooked more on the timeline than when Fousey did what he did like 3 weeks ago. You know what I'm saying? Ultimately, Hunter, I agree. Listen, man. It's August. We are grasping onto everything. Grasping onto every fucking thing. I'm surprised I even have enough to talk about fucking basketball right now. We're just grabbing onto things. It's the off season. The off season's off seasoning. That's all it is. That's all it fucking is. But not too much on Noah Lyles. Ultimately, that's my point. Not too much on Noah Lyles. What he said really wasn't that bad. I think bro was trying to be funny, and it's one of those cases where he didn't really come off funny. You know what I'm saying? He got a couple chuckles in the crowd, but they was just chuckling the chuckle, to be honest with you. But that's that. You know what I'm saying? Really was not that hard. Even in my tweet, like, I've seen a lot of people going hard on me. Like, Jesus Christ. Jesus. Like, I literally ended the tweet saying, ultimately, it's just semantics, though. It specifically used that emoji to say, like, ultimately, this shit is not that big of a fucking deal. People in my replies got a lot of sass to their tone. You know what I'm saying? Like, Jesus Christ. Someone said, W troll. Like, Jesus Christ, you must be trolling. No, he isn't. Last season world champ is celebrating in Serbia right now. I'll say it again. We round up their best teams for preseason schedule and then get surprised every few years when someone competes against the Thunder. Like, Jesus Christ. Like, everyone just relax. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not that serious. It's not that serious, man. So there's only one world champion every 4 years. Yeah. I've seen a decent amount of people bring this up too. Yes, actually, to me, the only time teams in the basketball world are crowned world champions is during FIBA and during the Olympics. To me, the NBA champion is just the NBA champion. I don't. Maybe that's a hot take. Maybe that's a hot fucking take. But the NBA champions to me are champions of the NBA league. And to me, the reason I'm more so on the side of Noah Lyles is because the main crux of the argument right now is the fact that the best players in the world, from all over the world, from different countries, compete in the NBA. That's the main crux of the counter argument. I don't think you'd be making this argument 20 to 30 years ago when the NBA actually was branding the world champs as the world champs, when the league was 95% American. Maybe even higher than that. I swear to God, it was probably higher than that. Before the globalization of basketball, this was a purely damn near American sport. It was basketball and American football. Like, what the fuck? These are American fucking products. And this is a term that is just essentially carried over since then. This is a term that the MLB uses, the NFL uses. It, like, they are not calling these teams world champions because it's semantically right. It's because it's tradition at this point to just call NBA teams world champions. You know what I'm saying? And that's fine. You know? America's just gotta relax. It's okay.